Hi guys, and welcome back to Petrolhead Podcasts. The Jeep Grand Cherokee has been a top-selling midsize SUV for decades, with a strong reputation for reliability, off-road capability, and value. The all-new 2022 Grand Cherokee has recently been launched and enters a hotly contested midsize SUV segment. The redesigned Kia Sorento has emulated the successful formula of the larger Telluride, with lots of style, technology, and versatility for a reasonable price. The Hyundai Santa Fe, similarly, has been updated to match the larger Palisade style and offers a luxury feeling for a low price tag. And the Toyota Venza aims to be the next best-selling SUV for the Japanese brand and combines the platform of the RAV4 with many of the interior features of the Highlander. So which is the best midsize SUV of the four? Join me as I go through an in-depth comparison to give you the answer. Today, we will be comparing the top-of-the-line Kia Sorento SX Prestige X-Line, the Hyundai Santa Fe Calligraphy, the Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited, and the Toyota Venza Limited. But before I begin, please like this video and subscribe to my channel to be the first to see more amazing content like this in the future. Starting with exterior styling, the Kia Sorento has a muscular and attractive look. The slim headlights that flow into the large grille and the off-road-like lower bumper with grey and black plastic contrasting details give the car a tough appearance when viewed from up front. On the side, the smooth body lines look well proportioned, and the high ground clearance of this X-Line model adds to the off-roader vibe. The distinctive triangular-shaped rear three-quarter window adds a stylish touch to the car's profile. Round back, the two-piece tail lights look modern and upmarket, while the grey and black plastic of the front carries over to the lower bumper to accentuate the car. But I do think that there's a little bit too much plastic that makes the back of the car look a bit cheap. Overall though, a fantastic design from Kia. The Hyundai Santa Fe, which rides on the same Hyundai Kia N3 platform as the Sorento, could not look more different. Up front, the car has a weird set of two-piece headlights with a split T-shaped daytime running lights that feeds into the grille and give the car a strange look up front. It is certainly not a good-looking SUV in my opinion. It is a shame because the previous 2019 model, which shares most of the current car's profile, had a much more restrained and better-looking front end. On the side, the Santa Fe also appears a bit overstyled, with too many body lines that make the look too busy, although the overall profile is not bad. Round back, the car looks decent, with modern LED taillights joined together by a reflector strip that mimics the look of many luxury cars like the Audi Q8 and Porsche Cayenne, and the lower bumper also looks decent with nice silver detailing, although the single-sided exhaust is a bit out of place. The 2022 Jeep Grand Cherokee is a great-looking car up front. The tall hood, slim headlights and squared-off shape of the front gives it a modern yet rugged and upmarket look. The new Jeep grille on the model that is flatter and squarer looks very tidy too. On the side, the clean and strong shoulder line is a nice touch and the big squared-off wheel arches are attractive. Round back, the slim tail lights echo the shape of the headlights, although it is a shame that on the limited model, there are no visible exhaust finishes and a big chunk of black plastic on the lower bumper. The Toyota Venza has a good-looking front end with Lexus-like slim and sharp-looking headlights, and a lower grille section almost looking like the spindle grille on Lexus models. On the side though, the proportions of the Venza are not great, with a nose that is arguably too long like many other Toyota Group models like the Lexus RX. The rest of the car's side profile is great though, with a coupe-like sloping rear end and a narrow glass house that looks sporty. Round back, the Venza looks good, with the full-width taillight design, but again there's too much black plastic on the lower bumper in my opinion. Overall for styling, the best for me is the Kia Sorento with its modern and beefy look, followed by the Grand Cherokee which looks tough as well but is a bit cheap looking on the limited model. Then the Venza is third with a good basic design but questionable proportions, while the Santa Fe comes last with its unresolved design. Moving on to interiors, and the Kia continues the good impression its exterior sets, with a modern dual-screen setup featuring a 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster and a 10.25-inch infotainment system. The infotainment is a great system as well, offering crisp graphics and fast response times. The interesting geometric air vents are a nice touch, as are the quilted leather seats in the SX Prestige model. Great detail features such as the blind spot camera, ambient lighting, as well as 3-zone climate control contribute to the upmarket feeling of the car. Overall, a wonderful interior, although critically speaking the climate control area looks a bit busy and cheap, and there is a bit too much piano black plastic around the dashboard and center console. The Hyundai, similarly, has a good cabin with a similar 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster and infotainment as the Kia, and again the system is great to use in the car. It too gets a blind spot camera feed in the digital gauges. The Napa leather seats, suede headliner and heads-up display make the Calligraphy model feel like a cut-price luxury car. However, the general design of the dashboard is aging, even though it was redesigned for the 2021 model year. There are simply too many buttons that perform various different functions, from changing gears to adjusting the climate control to changing the drive modes that are all grouped together in a visual and ergonomic nightmare. Additionally, there is still a lot of cheap plastic lower down in the cabin. The Jeep Grand Cherokee, being all new for 2022, has a fresh interior design featuring a flowing dashboard similar to the new Grand Wagoneer that looks modern and upmarket. The Uconnect 5 infotainment is a notable improvement over the previous generation, although it is a shame that at this price point, it is only standard with an 8.4-inch screen and the 10-inch screen is an optional extra. The standard fit 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster is a good piece of technology though, and offers a lot of configurability. The new rotary gear selector is a good design element and helps to give a minimalist look to the cabin. In general, the build quality might be pretty good in the Grand Cherokee, but the materials used are nowhere near as good as the Kia and Hyundai, with rougher leather, less stitched surfaces and much less luxury features at the price point than the other cars here. The Toyota Venza has a decent interior with unique elements such as the frosted panoramic sunroof and the big 12.3-inch display. The build quality and the material used are also decent. However, the Venza's analog gauges look old school in this group, and the infotainment is still running the last generation Toyota software that is slow to respond and has dated graphics. The cabin has a good general ambiance, with a modern look and many stitched and soft touch surfaces helping underline its position as a luxury alternative to a RAV4. Sadly, the capacitive touch buttons for the climate control are hard to use, leave many fingerprints, and are a distraction on the move. All things considered, the best interior of the four for me is the Kia. It has the best combination of design, features, technology, and a luxury feeling. In second is the Jeep, which has a great design that looks upmarket but is lacking in features and high-grade materials at this price point. In third place is the Hyundai, which is feature-packed and has luxury car-level materials in some parts of its cabin, but has an aging design. In last is the Toyota. The Venza has a modern look and some cool features, but is let down by its out-of-date technology and capacitive touch buttons. In terms of drivetrains, the Kia has a 2.5-litre turbocharged 4-cylinder engine producing 281 horsepower, which is 210 kilowatts, and 311 pound-feet of torque, which is 422 newton meters. This is mated to an 8-speed dual-clutch transmission that sends power to a front-biased all-wheel drive system. The car accelerates to 60 miles an hour in 6.3 seconds and achieves a combined fuel economy of 24 miles per gallon. The Hyundai Santa Fe has the same 2.5-litre engine with 8-speed dual-clutch as the Kia and produces an identical 281 horsepower and 311 pound-feet of torque. It also has a front-biased all-wheel drive system. It accelerates to 60 miles an hour in 6 seconds and has a combined economy of 24 miles per gallon. The Jeep Grand Cherokee has a 3.6-litre naturally aspirated V6 engine, producing 290 horsepower, which is 216 kilowatts, and 257 pound-feet of torque, which is 348 newton meters. This is mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission, sending power through a rear-biased, permanent 4-wheel drive system. The car accelerates to 60 miles an hour in 7.2 seconds and has a combined economy of 22 miles per gallon. The Toyota Venza has a hybrid powertrain that pairs a 2.5-litre naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine with an electric motor that combined to produce 219 horsepower, which is 163 kilowatts, and a torque output of 163 pound-feet, which is 221 newton meters from the engine, and front and rear electric motors that produce 149 pound-feet and 89 pound-feet, respectively. The car sends power through a front-biased all-wheel drive system and is paired with a CVT continuously variable transmission. The car accelerates to 60 miles an hour in 7.5 seconds and has a combined economy of 39 miles per gallon, which is best in class. In terms of drivetrains, the best of the four for me are the Hyundai and Kia ones, combining reasonable efficiency with the best performance figures of the group. In third place is the Toyota, which has rather slow acceleration numbers but benefits from great fuel efficiency. In last place is the Jeep. The Pentastar engine is aging with so-so outputs, low torque figures, and fuel economy is also the worst of the four. Next up, looking at the driving experience, the Kia Sorento is a solid car that feels planted on the road. It has a well-weighted steering and good brake pedal feel, and the engine also pulls strongly. However, the car can become floaty over large bumps. The suspension is firmer than it should be, and the transmission can be slow and clunky at times. The Hyundai Santa Fe has a similar feeling to the Kia, being well sorted with good steering and handling and having a willing engine. It rides slightly better than the Sorento, but suffers from the same transmission issues. The car is notably refined and quiet, with the extra acoustic glass on the Calligraphy model helping to reduce road noise. The Jeep Grand Cherokee is a smooth operator. The V6 does a decent job holding the Grand Cherokee, but can become noisy when worked hard. The transmissions shift very smoothly though, and the ride is also comfortable, especially with the small 18-inch wheels on the limited model. Even though the car misses out on an air suspension, it still deals with road imperfections really well. The steering doesn't feel natural but is precise and responsive, and the handling is good for a big and heavy SUV, with the available adaptive dampers helping in this area. The Toyota Venza has a sluggish engine that struggles on inclines and at altitude, and becomes noisy when accelerating hard. The Venza is decently balanced through corners but has relatively slow steering and lots of body roll, and grip is also not great, owing to the soft suspension tune and narrow tires. However, the Venza is a great cruiser. When traveling at constant speed, the quiet cabin, smooth ride quality, and consistent brake pedal feel give it a luxurious experience. Overall, for the driving experience, the best of the four is the Grand Cherokee, which has good ride quality, a smooth transmission, and well-sorted dynamics. In second place is the Hyundai. The car also feels luxurious and refined and has a strong powertrain, but suffers from a badly calibrated transmission. The Kia is third, sharing similar traits as the Hyundai, but its ride is not as smooth and comfortable as the Santa Fe. In last is the Venza. The car has a wonderful ride and a quiet cabin, but its underpowered engine and poor body control in corners relegated to the bottom of the pack. Looking at practicality, the Kia Sorento has a cargo capacity of 75.5 cubic feet behind the first row. The car is one of the only ones in the segment to offer a third row of seats, adding to its versatility. The car has 41.4 inches of legroom in the front and 41.7 inches in the second row, and a shoulder room of 58.1 inches in the second row allows it to seat 3 across easily. The Hyundai Santa Fe has a cargo capacity of 72.1 cubic feet behind the first row. It has 44.1 inches of legroom in the front row and 41.7 inches in the second row. The shoulder room of 58.3 inches in the second row is almost identical to the Kia, and it also carries 3 people across the second row easily. The Jeep Grand Cherokee has a cargo capacity of 70.8 cubic feet behind the front row, less than both the Kia and the Hyundai. The car has 41.3 inches of front legroom and 38.2 inches of rear legroom, which is not great. The shoulder room of 58 inches is on par with the Hyundai and Kia. The Toyota Venza has a cargo capacity of just 55.1 inches behind the front row, by far the lowest for the class. The car has 40.9 inches of front legroom and 37.8 inches of rear legroom, also the worst. The shoulder room of 56.9 inches in the second row is also the smallest of the 4, making it tight to squeeze 3 people across the back of the car. So in terms of practicality, it is the Kia first, with its class-leading cargo space, even considering the third row it offers, followed by the Hyundai in second, which is only slightly smaller than the Kia inside. The Jeep is third with a decent amount of space, but poor rear legroom. In last is the Venza. The RAV4 underpinnings unfortunately make it much smaller in every measurable dimension than its rivals. So in conclusion, which is the best midsize SUV of the 4? For me, the winner is the Kia Sorento. It has a modern and tough-looking exterior, an interior with great features, technology and design, the strongest engine of the 4 plus the most interior space, all at a very competitive price. Unfortunately, the driving experience is a bit unrefined, but as a whole package the Kia is unbeatable. In second place is the new Grand Cherokee. It is a notable step above the previous generation and has a compelling design inside and out, paired with the best driving dynamics of the 4. However, the specification in the limited model is seriously lacking compared to the others at this price point, and the V6 engine is outdated, being inefficient and lacking in torque when viewed next to the Hyundai and Kia engines. In third place is the Hyundai. It shares most of the impressive hardware that makes the Kia a winner, but the polarizing exterior design and the aging interior make it tough to recommend. In last place is the Toyota Venza. The car has a modern design inside and out, and an impressively refined ride, but the underpowered engine, poor body control, aging infotainment and tiny interior space means it has to settle for fourth place. What do you guys think of this conclusion, and what are your thoughts on these 4 midsize SUVs? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, please like and subscribe to my channel to be the first to see more amazing content like this in the future. Cheers!